Maybe your back hurts, or maybe your neck, or maybe your shoulders don't feel all that great, or maybe you have tight hamstrings, or your whole body's a little bit tight and achy. The reality is that none of these issues are isolated issues. You see, your body is a kinetic chain, working from your feet all the way up to your head. And just because your right shoulder feels tight or hurts doesn't mean your right shoulder is the cause. It could be your left foot, for example. Because the truth is, you need to reset your full body if you want to feel amazing. And today we're going to do that by resetting you from head to toe. Let's go. Okay, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to take you through 27 different mobility movements, each designed to create mobility and relaxation in every single joint in your body. We're going to start at the neck, and then we're going to go to the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists and hands, the upper back, the lower back, the hips, the knees, and the ankles. The best thing you can do is just follow along and do your best. And at the end, you'll notice your whole body feels so much better. So let's get started with the neck. And the first thing we want to do with each joint, and the neck especially, is to articulate it in all the different ranges of motion. There's 5 different directions that the neck is going to move. So we're going to do one movement for each direction. To start, we're going to start with front and back bends of the neck. So all we're going to do here is drop our chin towards our chest while lifting the back of our head towards the sky. So we're not just going to cave our chin and face forward like this and have bad posture. We're going to lift the back of our head up towards the sky while the chin comes down. From there, we're going to lift the face and press the face toward the sky. So again, we're not crooking our neck back like this and compressing the disc. We're reaching the face toward the sky. We're going to go back and forth just like this. Just a few times, slow and controlled, really trying to think about range of motion as we do it and lengthen the spine. So reach the face up, reach the back of the head towards the sky, and come back and forth just like this. Okay? Once you've done a few repetitions of that, now we can start to stretch the neck on the sides of the neck, which is really important. So we want to bring the arms involved here so that we don't end up just bending the body from side to side, but rather isolate the muscles around the neck. So fingertips drop away from the ears, and we keep the shoulders down the whole time. From there, I want you to point your thumbs forward or even to the outside with your palms facing forward like this. That'll help deepen the stretch. Now, you're going to go from side to side just like this. But just like before, instead of trying to cave our ear towards our shoulder like this and compressing the disc in the neck, we want to think about reaching our face towards the sky. So it's about reaching the side of my face toward the sky, reaching this side of my face toward the sky. And just coming back and forth, each time trying to increase the range of motion while keeping the shoulders down away from my ears, relaxing the neck, relaxing the traps, relaxing the shoulders as you go from side to side. Now the next range of motion we want to do with the neck is to twist the neck from side to side. It's really important that you do 2 things when you're doing this. One is maintain a level chin. So don't let your chin wobble from side to side as you twist. And 2, think about tall posture the entire time. You can slump like this, or you can stand up tall and press your head towards the sky like this. Make sure to do the latter, okay? So with that tall posture, we're going to turn our face to the side, keeping our chin nice and level, and feeling the stretch coming through the side of our neck. Then we're going to slowly turn to the other side, maintaining that tall posture. Feel that stretch coming through the opposite side of the neck. Just go back and forth, just like we did before, trying to stretch and create more mobility, more relaxation in this range of motion in the neck. And then we're going to go to another range of motion. So you might think that the neck only moves 3 ways, but now we're going to combine a couple of these ranges, and we're going to do what's called the chicken neck. And this is really important because so many of us get stuck in the front position of the chicken neck with our chins stuck out like this. We really want it to be back like this. And that's exactly the move we're about to do. So with a tall posture, we're going to bring the chin forward and allow our face to come forward. Then we're going to bring the back of our head as far back as we can and pull our face backwards and do this chicken neck, forward and backward, just like this. Creating as much range of motion on each side as we can, holding each side for a second, and trying not to compress the neck muscles, but rather still thinking length, tall through the top of the head the entire time. Now the last movement we're going to do is challenging for a lot of people, so it might take some practice, but this one really helps loosen up the muscles even more. It's gliding the neck side to side. And so you can practice this in front of a mirror if you need to, but all we're going to do is keep that level chin and tall posture, and we're going to slide our head to the side, and then we're going to slide our head to the opposite side. We're gonna just go back and forth, sliding our head from side to side, just like this. Each time trying to reach the face as far sideways as we can while maintaining a nice tall posture. Okay, once we've done the neck, you can kind of just shake the shoulders out, loosen the neck out, and then we're gonna move on to the shoulders and the arms, okay? The first thing we're gonna start with is doing some shoulder circles. And the best way to do shoulder circles is to start small by making small arm circles like this, and then as we do more shoulder circles, I want you to reach higher and higher over your head. Now, something to be really mindful of is that you're gonna point your thumbs backwards as you do this movement. So as your arms come overhead, the thumbs are backwards. As your arms come down, the thumbs are backwards. As your arms come forward, the thumbs are backwards. We're trying to create more external rotation of the shoulders, and that's the best way to do it, is keep the thumbs backwards as we keep reaching for arm circles, okay? Now, once you've done 5 or 10 arm circles, slow and controlled this direction, let's go the opposite direction. Again, thumbs stay backwards the entire time. And this one, we really want to articulate the full range of motion. So as your hands come down, your shoulders come down. As your hands come up, your shoulders come up. So we want to get the shoulder blades involved. Everything is doing a giant arm circle. Yep. And once we get 5 to 10, just like that, we'll shake out those shoulders and those arms. And now let's let the trap and the neck loosen up. So we're going to do some actual shoulder blade circles, shrugging up, pulling the shoulder blades back, dropping them down away from your ears, and then pushing them and flaring them forward. So sometimes when you're practicing this movement at first, it can be really helpful to do them in 4 steps. So shoulders up, shoulders back and down, shoulders forward. And start slow by making that square and then slowly, smoothly turning it into a nice shoulder and neck circle. And then another direction, just opening up the chest, bringing it forward, trying to make the movement as smooth as possible too. If you can feel your movement as you're going slow, if you feel parts of that movement where you go, and it feels like you're moving really fast, those are areas where we don't have good access to the muscles that make that movement smooth. So the smoother we make this, the better it will be for our bodies. Okay, the next one is going to address the internal and external rotation of the shoulders with a move called the surfer twist. So what you're going to do is this: palms toward the sky and your hands out like this. As I turn towards this hand, I'm going to turn this palm towards the ground, and if I can, turn it all the way back around 360 degrees toward the sky. So it looks like this. I'm going to rotate my body, my feet, everything. I'm going to rotate that all the way over, okay? Then as I come to the middle, I'm going to open back up. Then I'm going to rotate this one all the way over. And we're going to go back and forth like this, reaching our hands as far away from each other as we can as we come from side to side, trying to strengthen and lengthen and create more rotation inside the shoulders and make the shoulders feel a whole lot better as we go from side to side, just like this. Doesn't that feel good already? Good job following along. Okay, now from there, we're gonna relax the arms down by our sides. We're gonna drop the shoulders away from the ears. We're gonna bring our palms toward the sky, and we're gonna do some external rotations. So all we're gonna do is this. Hands are gonna come to the outside like this, and right here in this position, we should feel it in our lats and in the muscles in between our shoulder blades. We're really opening up the chest, and we're activating all the muscles in the backside of the body that help improve posture. And those muscles that retract the shoulder blades are some very neglected muscles on most people. And when we fix them, they tend to fix our posture, they tend to make our shoulders feel a lot better, and make our shoulders a lot healthier and stronger at the same time. So just do these slow and controlled, squeezing the shoulder blades together as you bring the hands back and out like this, and not allowing yourself to ever shrug your shoulders up like this. We want to let those traps relax as we externally rotate the shoulders. Awesome job. Okay, one more. And then let's go ahead and shake it out again. So we got through the neck, we got through the shoulders. Now let's finish up the arms, okay? We're going to focus on the elbows by doing an elbow circle. And here's how I want you to focus on it, okay? You're going to take your palms, face them down, and your elbow pits are facing towards each other. Then from there, you're going to curl your arms in towards your chest. Then you're going to open out, palms toward the sky, and rotate everything back over, right? So everything goes palms down, palms up, and then rotate back to the start. And every time we finish the rotation, I want you to straighten your arms and actually squeeze your tricep muscles. We want to actually extend the elbows fully, making sure that we have full range of motion in the flexion and extension of the elbows. And then let's go the opposite direction. So this time, palms turn towards the sky, arms come to the outside. We're creating more external rotation of the shoulders here as the hands come in, and then lock them. Palms toward the sky, rotate around, and straighten the elbows. Palm towards the sky, rotate around, bring them out as much as possible, straighten the elbows. One more time. That feels really good. Now let's move down to the wrists and the hands with a simple move called the flexion and extension, okay? So here's what I want you to do. Arms come out like this, and the first thing we're going to do is curl the fingers in, the thumb goes over the fingers, and we're going to bring our fist towards our forearms like this. So you feel a nice pump firing in the forearm, okay? So squeeze that muscle. Now from there, as you extend your arms, open your fingers, spread them wide, and then bring your fingertips back towards the back of your forearm as much as possible. And we're going to go back and forth just like this. So making that fist, squeezing, feeling the forearm, and then extending, bringing the fingers back, opening the fingers up wide, and going back and forth. This is one of my favorite all-time wrist and hand moves for creating more strength and flexibility in the wrists. And by the way, any one of these movements can be done by themselves throughout the day for 30 seconds to loosen up any joint in your body and make your body feel better. All right? But it is awesome to do them all at the same time because then we address all the links of the chain. Because remember, chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So let's make sure you're nice and mobile and not tight and tense throughout your whole body so you can move more freely. All right? So now that we've got the arms done, we can shake out the arms, and we're going to move over to the spine. And there's a lot of ways we're going to move the spine right now, and it's really important to learn how to articulate your spine in all these different directions because it allows more freedom of movement, less likelihood of getting injured, and your whole body will feel so much more relaxed as you go through these movements, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on our thoracic spine, and we're going to start with a little bit of a rotation, okay? So what we're going to do is this, a little bit wider stance than we had before, and I want you to just let your feet kind of flow with you and your knees kind of flow with you, but we're going to take our arms and we're just going to pat them on the sides like this, and we're going to turn to the opposite side. And I'm going to lead with my eyes if I can, looking as far as I can with my eyes as I go from side to side, just like this. I'm going to try to keep a nice relaxed breath. If I want to find a breathing pattern, I can exhale as I look behind me. So inhale as you look forward, exhale as you look behind you. Let the arms just go completely loose. We've just loosened them up and mobilized them. So just let them just be completely loose. Your neck should be relaxed. And like I said, you can lift your toe and turn your hip with you. We're trying to get as much rotation out of our upper back as we can. This should feel pretty gentle and pretty good. One of my favorite moves that you should be doing every day, maybe right as you get out of bed, because it feels so dang good. Okay, once you've done some of these spine twists, we're going to focus on the thoracic spine for these next couple moves, okay? And this may feel odd to you because this is a coordination move that a lot of us lose over time. And so the first thing we're going to do is, can we extend our thoracic spine and then flex our thoracic spine? For a lot of people, the flexion part's easier, so we'll start there. So all I got to do is imagine this. If I have my fingers on my sternum and I push my fingers back and I let my shoulder blades open, I'm rounding my thoracic spine. Now, if I do the opposite and I lift my chest forward, I'm extending my thoracic spine. So what we're going to try to do is this. Lift the spine, round the spine. Lift the spine, round the spine. Not by doing this with the lower back yet. We'll get there in a sec. So lift the spine, round the spine. Lift the spine, round the spine. And we could do this by just going forward and backward from the sternum. Or if you want, you can try something even more challenging, which is I'm going to roll starting at this vertebrae down to my neck. Then I'm going to roll forward at my neck to that vertebrae, right? So trying to move really fluidly as we do thoracic movement, okay? Now, the next one is gliding our thoracic spine side to side. Probably the easiest way to learn this one is to bring your arms to the outside. And now all you're going to do is this. You're going to try to reach your fingertips towards the wall without allowing yourself to bend to the side. So you're going to come sideways like this, and then sideways like this. So it's kind of like the neck. We're gliding the spine side to side. What you might notice is some tension in your lower back or in your hips as you're doing this, because this is likely a movement you haven't done for a long time. But it's a great movement to get more mobility and control in the spine to help prevent any sort of back pain that you might be having or that you might get in the future. Okay? So just sliding side to side, everything stays level, but we're just moving the body side to side. Now here is the hard one. We're going to combine those two different motions, forward and backward, side to side, and we're going to see if we can make a thoracic spine circle. So here's what that looks like. First, we go thoracic flexion, then we glide to the side, then we go thoracic extension, then we glide to the opposite side. So just like the shoulder circles, we might want to take it in 4 different spots and then slowly smooth that out into a circle. And you'll know you're doing this right when you feel all those different ranges of motion: thoracic flexion, extension, and gliding from side to side. And let's make sure we move the opposite direction too. Again, this may feel clunky at first because we're coordinating a bunch of different movements that you're probably not used to doing, but that your body probably craves in order to feel so much better. Good. Okay, now once we're there, I want you just to loosen it up, shake it out a little bit, bounce up and down, let the shoulders hang out, and just kind of feel, how does your upper body feel right now? Everywhere from your sternum up should feel a whole lot looser, a lot smoother, a lot better. But it gets even better as we work our way down to the lower back, into the hips, and all the way down to the ground, all right? So let's focus on the lower back by doing a few different movements that are similar to what we just did with the T-spine, but this time we're gonna go all the way forward and all the way backward, and all the way to the side, all the way to the side, okay? The first move, I want you to take a little bit wider than hip width stance, toes slightly turned outward, and we're gonna do is slowly round the back, so chin comes down to the chest, then the thoracic spine, then the lower back. We're just gonna slowly bring our body down. Soft knees, your knees don't have to be straight, they can be softly bent. And then from there, starting at the tailbone, rolling our back up, 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way to the top position, stacking our head back on top, and then from there, squeeze the glute muscles. If you have to, you can put your hands on your back as well, open your chest, and lift the chest toward the sky. Hold for a second, only go as far back as you feel 100% comfortable, and let's do a few of these. Starting at the head, working our way down, really getting loose as we come forward. You can even cross your hands, you can even spend some time down here if you want, just loosening everything up. And then, like I said, slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, stacking the spine on top of the hips, stacking the upper back on top of the lower back, letting the head come up, squeezing the glutes, opening the chest. Let's go 1 more of those. Head first, thoracic spine. And just breathe out as you come down. Just like try to relax. That's what we're trying to do here. Get our body to move through full ranges of motion while we are completely relaxed so that our body can loosen up, let go of the tension, and feel so much better. All right? Now that we've done front to back, let's do side to side. So if you're a complete beginner, I want you to put 1 hand on your hip, and I want you to put the other hand up underneath your armpit as you come to the side, and then slowly go to the other side, 1 hand on the hip, other hand up underneath the armpit as you come to the opposite side. If you want to try it, you can bring the arm over the head, point the thumb backwards, and you can bring the arm over the head like this as you come from side to side. Now, if we do this properly, you should feel the stretch coming through the outside of your calf, outside of your leg, outside of your hip, all the way through the side of your body, into your lat, all the way into your pinky right here. This is a really great stretch where you should be able to feel that kinetic chain we're talking about, where we feel all the muscles are together, working together, and are loosening up together as we do this motion from side to side. This is one of my favorites of all time. All right, now the last one, we're gonna just shake out our arms, and we're gonna do a little bit of a combination of those 2 movements as well. So this one, we're gonna do a little bit of a rag doll, okay? So all we're gonna do is relax our shoulders, relax our arms. The first thing we're gonna do is lean to the side. Then we're gonna kind of turn our torso towards this leg and let our arms come down. And once we get down to the bottom, we're gonna swing our body over to the other side. And we're gonna slowly roll up and then stack our shoulders on top of each other into that same side bend position and come back through. Let's do the opposite way. Body leans to the side. We let the shoulder collapse. We bring our body down. We just let the shoulders and arms relax. Swing it to the other side. Slowly come up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Back to the start position. 1 more time each way. Slowly caving to the side. Swinging the arms around to the other side. Slowly coming up. Stacking the shoulders and coming to the top. And 1 more the opposite direction. Again, this one is loose as we possibly can get to loosen up the spine, the shoulders, and even the hips. Ooh. All right, now how does the spine feel? It should feel a whole lot looser, but the hips are the foundation of the spine. And so we're gonna do a bunch of hip mobility drills right now to loosen up the hips and make them feel better as well. So the first thing I wanna do is I wanna start with some big hip circles because they're really easy for everybody to do. So this time I want you to put your feet straight forward, and I want you to start by shifting your hip to the side, then bringing it around to the front, shift it to the other side, and then push it back. But here we don't want to round our back. We want to have a nice neutral spine. So just bringing our body, our belly button towards our thighs. We're going to find a nice loose circle. Probably my favorite way to articulate this movement and make it really smooth is imagine if there's a string on the top of your head and it's pulling your head up, right? And the whole body is just kind of moving around that string, okay? So just trying to stay loose as we do this movement. And then let's do the opposite direction. Loose as you do this movement. The hips are coming around in a full circle. The head's being pulled up by the string the whole time. And we're just loosening those hips up in a way that feels really good. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to actually shrink this movement. And we're going to focus on our ability to articulate our pelvis in 3 different directions, okay? So the first direction is front to back, okay? So what we're going to do is this. We're going to squeeze our glutes, and we're going to tilt our pelvis backwards. So if you imagine your pelvis is a bowl of water, you would be pouring that bowl of water out behind you. Then from there, we're going to pour that bowl of water out forward like this and arch our lower back. And we're going to come back and forth, moving our pelvis. Now, the less you can move the rest of your body, the better. So if you're doing this and your shoulders are coming back and this and your arms are coming forward, well, then you're doing too much with the rest of your body. Instead, we want this. We want pelvic back, pelvis forward. Just learning to move the pelvis forward and backward like this, okay? And once we've done a few of these, we're going to do pelvis side to side. And so the way to think about this is twofold. One, we could think about shortening our rib to our hip. So as I go to the side, I'm going to shorten that. And as I do that, I'm going to relax this leg. So I'm going to go relax this leg, relax the opposite leg. And we're going to learn how to move the pelvis, the lower back, and the pelvis from side to side like this. Opening up the hips, opening up the lower back, and making your body feel amazing. And then what we're going to do, as we've done before, is combine those 2 movements, okay? So start by going to each one of the 4 points and then smooth the movement out. So forward, side, back, side, and then smooth the movement out, trying to do as much of this work as we can in our pelvis, not in our upper back or our shoulders, and really trying to make that movement as smooth as possible. All right, and go the other direction, and practice as slowly as you need, looking for the portions of the movement that feel clunky, like a ratchet, and remembering that those are areas where we don't have good access to those muscles. And so the more we practice slowly, the better access we get to all those muscles, and the easier it is for us to move well. Because remember, when you move your body better, you feel better in your body, right? Okay. Now, once we've done the pelvic circles, let's do some leg swings, because there's one other thing we want to do with the hips, and that is we want to open up the internal and external rotation of the hips. Now, for a lot of people, this one can be a bit challenging on the balance side. So if you need to, grab a wall or a chair, bring it next to you, and what you're going to do is this. You're going to lift your leg that's facing the chair, okay? So my left leg's down, my right leg's up, and all I'm going to do here is see if I can swing that leg from side to side. Trying to create internal and external rotation inside the hip capsule, but in a way that's really loose, okay? Really loose. And it's helpful to have this on the opposite side of your body, because when you have it on the opposite side of your body, it helps your balance a little better. It helps you improve that ability to have good posture. If I was here doing it, I might lean to the side like this. I'd have bad posture. So this kind of puts me into a good postural position, okay? And so once that's done, shake that leg out. For anybody who's doing this, all I want you to do is turn around, switch sides by twisting and using the opposite hand and the opposite leg. For ease sake on this one, I'm just going to do the other side. And all we're going to do is just little tiny swings from side to side, loosening up the hips, making those hips feel a lot better. Okay? And then once you're done with the leg swings like this, now we're going to go to the knees. Because while it's important that your knee goes the same direction as your toes to keep it nice and safe like this, it's also important that we maintain a little bit of mobility in the lateral and rotational aspects of the knee. So bring your feet together like this, squeeze your knees together, and then we're going to start by making little tiny baby knee circles. So fully straight, bringing the knees to the outside, swinging them around forward, and coming back around. Slow and controlled. You shouldn't be experiencing pain. We shouldn't be going through ranges of motion that don't feel good. This should all feel easy and smooth. So if you have to, you can make these circles even smaller. Little tiny circles with the knee joint, okay? And even if you have to, you can just go forward and backward if any of that lateral or rotational movement causes any pain, okay? And once we're done doing a few knee circles this direction, let's switch and go the opposite direction. trying to make sure that we feel the weight on both feet equally, making sure that we feel the knee joint opening up, smoothing out. And once we're done with that, let's shake it out a little bit in the hips and the knees. Your whole body should be feeling pretty good right about now. Let's address two more areas, the ankles and the feet, okay? So the next one is ankle circles. So that's why I kept the chair right here. Again, let's put our balance on one leg, and the opposite arm is going to hold the chair to encourage that good posture. From there, you're going to stick the leg out, and we're going to make ankle circles. But here's the deal. I want to challenge you to do something. Instead of drawing a circle with your toe, which oftentimes articulates from the center of the joint, I want you to draw a circle with your heel, which means you're going to get full articulation, especially in the lateral movement of the joint. So if you think about drawing a circle with your heel, it's going to make this a lot harder, but it's going to make it a lot more effective. Now the other direction, drawing that circle with your heel. Again, feeling the difference of how that really forces your ankle to go into larger ranges of motion laterally, side to side. You might even feel some crunches and some pops. That's okay. Ankles hold a lot of tension, okay? Now the other side. Again, if you're doing this at home, I want you to switch arms and switch legs so that this is the position that you're in. But for ease sake, I'll just face forward right here, and we'll go some ankle circles with the heel on the opposite foot. Slow and controlled, focusing on the heel, making those circles. The smoother, the better. Ankles are one of those areas of your body where you'll notice lots of ratchety movement, right? And so if we want stronger, more mobile ankles, this is an amazing move to practice. Okay, now we're going to do a couple stretches here. Again, you can use the chair for support. Ankle to the side. So we're going to bring our foot right out front. We're going to turn it diagonally, and we're going to let it roll to the outside. This is like the classic I sprained my ankle move. But by exposing ourselves to it, we can actually build strength in the joints that way. We'll be able to sustain things like rolling our ankles rather than causing us to have tendon issues, ligament issues, or muscle issues inside the ankle. So just coming back and forth, trying to roll that ankle to the outside, only putting as much pressure on it as feels 100% comfortable. And once we do 5 or so of these, go ahead and switch sides. Again, toes in, and then let the ankle roll to the outside. The knee just bends. And again, we can put as much pressure or as little pressure as you want on this. It can be as simple as just a little ankle roll to the outside like this. But loosening up those ankles can be really powerful, because if the ankles are mobile, then we're not going to ask the knees to be mobile. If the hips are mobile, then we're not going to ask the spine to be mobile. You can see the pattern that goes throughout the body, right? If we have the area that's supposed to provide stability, but it accidentally provides mobility, then that's why we end up getting injured. Okay, opposite. This time I'm going to turn my foot to the outside, and I'm just going to roll my ankle inward like this. For those of us who have some knee pains, make sure to go slow on this one. We don't want to have any knee aggravation because we're rotating our knee inward like this. So about 5 of these, feeling that stretch on the inside of the ankle, and then we'll go 5 on the opposite side, feeling the stretch on the inside of that ankle. Yep. And then finally, one more for the toes. This is the old toe knuckle stretch. So all you're going to do is roll over your toes. The toe knuckles go down on the ground. Put as little or as much pressure as you want on it, but you want to make sure to focus on pushing that ankle joint forward as much as possible. And you can kind of just go forward and backward. Let those toes stretch out. Let that ankle stretch out. This one's one of my favorites. It feels so, so good. And then let's switch, and let's do the other side. So rolling through, and then bringing the ankle forward. Always thinking about bringing the top of the ankle forward, and then just kind of coming forward and backward, just like this. All right. There you have it. A full body reset with 27 different movements that you can do from home to create mobility and more awareness in each joint in your body. By now, my hope is that you feel amazing, that your body feels relaxed, that some of your aches and pains have disappeared, and that your body feels so much better. You can return to this and follow this routine over and over again, or you can take different parts of the routine and take them with you and do them throughout the day to loosen up those particular joints in your body. Now, if you like this, then you'll love what we have for you over at WeShape. We do stretching routines, workouts, live coaching calls, and so much more. And you can try it out for free. If you want to give it a shot, all you have to do is click the link below. Otherwise, if you want some stretches now to make your body feel even better, watch this video right here.